Recording in progress.
Brahms Piano Trio number 1, Teaching Video Part 3. Get excited. Woo! Page 3, or I should say Part 3, which is mostly on page 3, it has some weird stuff. I would say this is probably the most interesting page out of the whole arrangement, possibly the most difficult, but I mean there's kind of some tricky bits scattered here and there. We have a section where we're going back and forth between time signatures. And that's unusual. That's really something that you don't see often in beginner arrangements, especially for piano, I don't know. So we're going from what we were in, which is called cut time. I'm kind of treating it more like 4/4 for the purposes of this video, just because a lot of students who would be playing this piece have never done cut time before, and it's similar. It's similar enough that I'm not going to get into that in this video. So at the top of page 3, we see in measure 52, we have switched into 3/2 time signature. What does that mean? I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty too much. You're really going to be learning this mostly through your ears and by listening to what it's supposed to sound like, what it's supposed to feel like. But for an intellectual understanding, real quick, read it as a sentence. You can say, there are 3 half notes in a measure. And the half note is the new one. The half note is the new quarter note. The half note is the note in this time signature that gets 1 beat. And you might say, wow, that sounds really weird. But basically, look at measure 52. In fact, let me pull this up on the screen. Measure 52. Oops. Stop jumping. There we go. If you look at the right hand here, what do we have? We have a half note, we have a half rest, and we have another half rest. So it kind of looks like this measure is divided into half things. I mean, pretend like the half rest got replaced with half notes. We would have half note, half note, half note. So instead of counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, we're basically just saying, okay, now the half note is a quarter note. The half note is 1 beat. That's how we're thinking of it. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3. So to play that, I would say 1, 2, 3. Now, you know, it might sound a little bit weird. It might even sound a little bit scary or a little bit strange. But I mean, if I just show you how to play it and say, here, copy this. 1, 2, 3. That's not bad. What do we have in the left hand? My dog is playing with a squeaky toy. Sorry about that. I've got a G and a G. It just goes da da. In 3/2 time signature, the quarter notes almost act like 1/8 notes. So it's da da, ti ti. So I've got ti ti ta ta. Now, then we switch to cut time, which is in the next measure. Let's use green for this. Now we're back to kind of counting this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I kind of hate to count 1, 2, 3, 4 because it's technically not accurate because it's cut time, but I think I will. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we're back to the 3/2 time signature. Oops, let me bring this right here, open this up. So let me play measures 52, 53, and 54 right here, so you can kind of see how it goes back and forth. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So it's kind of strange. We're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what this is going to do is it's going to give this part of the piece a really interesting, really cool, super duper not baby beginner music student kind of sound to it. And I mean, you got to think, when Brahms wrote this piece originally as an original piano trio, was it designed for, you know, beginner students? No, it was not. And this is what's so cool about taking a piece like this and turning it into a beginner arrangement, is something like this, you really can't simplify it down. I mean, to be true to the piece, we're going from 3/2 to, well, 2-2 to 3-2 to 2-2. But again, I'm treating the cut time almost like a 4-4. But anyway, so it's kind of cool. Now then, I should mention in 52 and 54, we've got an octave jump, and then we come back to another octave jump. So the first octave jump is G, G, and then we'll have an F, F, and then we are D, 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 dash. Now for that part right there, let me actually open that up. That is measure number 55. We've got an F, C, A, C, E flat. Now pay attention to the fingerings here. We've got 5, 1, 1, 2, 4. We got our finger 4 on the F, E flat there. Now, measure 56, I am playing this E right here. I was previously in this hand position with my pinky on an F. None of my fingers are on top of this E, so I just stretched up like that. If you want to go ahead and just shift up, that's fine. Because in just a minute, we're going to need to be even higher. Either way is fine. Now this next section is probably the weirdest part of the whole piece. And again, I'm going to have you really just learn this by rote in terms of the rhythm. Let's look at the right hand, starting in measure 58. I'm going to start with a finger 2 on an F sharp. Now this measure has not only F sharps, but it also has G sharps. So I've got 2 black keys. And I'm going to play kind of cool. That's a neat rhythm. Now, I don't think you're going to have too much trouble just learning this part because, again, you can just listen, copy, listen, and copy. The tricky bit is going to be the strings parts have a different rhythm. So you're going to be playing one rhythm and they're all going to be playing a different rhythm. When we put them together, we've got to get them to overlap correctly and to kind of come together. So again, we're going to be doing a lot of listening. We're going to probably do a lot of like rhythm clapping on our knees or clapping the hands, whatever, to see how those puzzle pieces fit together. But anyways, it's kind of exciting. Now the left hand is the same deal, only it's starting with a finger 4 on the F sharp. It's literally exactly the same notes. All right, so we got the F sharp. Neat. And that's all there is to that. So it kind of looks more scary than it is. As long as you get the right notes, the right fingers on the right keys, you just kind of go for it and copy that rhythm and boom, you've got it. So you might pause the video right now and just kind of take that little section and practice it through, I don't know, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, whatever you feel is appropriate. And then, what do we have next? Let's see. Now this is interesting because we just played a bunch of F sharps. And here we have an F in both hands that is not sharped. So we gotta think white keys now. I'm using these fingers right here just for convenience. I was here. Now watch this, I'm just going to reach down for the D and F here. And I'm just going to use my finger 4 to reach down for the F. Now I'm going to jump up. Wow! And I'm going to put my, oops, I went too far. Finger 4 on B. What do we have? B, C, C, B, A, G sharp, A. And the left hand. B, C, C, B, A, G sharp, A. The exact same notes again. So make sure you got the right fingers on the right keys. Finger 2 on B, finger 4 on B, and you put them together. That was kind of the thing when I was first looking through a rough draft of this arrangement. I thought, that part might be a little bit sticky, might be hard to play. But then I thought about it and I said, well, I mean, you have ears. You can listen, you can copy it. And also, too, I'm sure that you have played dotted quarter notes before. It's not like that's really all that new anyways. All right, measure number, 64. We got the piano marking very quiet. We have C, E flat, G flat. Now, wait a minute. What is this? We said G flat, but isn't that the same thing as an F sharp? It is. It's literally the same thing. When we see a G flat, we say G flat. Or an F sharp, we say F sharp. It's just a different name for the same note. So we've got C, E flat, G flat, A. Make sure that you're using the right fingers there. C, E flat, G flat. Now, I mean, it is kind of interesting that we're using finger 4 for the G flat there. You could probably get away with using finger 5. I think either one would probably be okay. So, I mean, once you get to that measure 64, I mean, this is pretty straightforward reading. I mean, yes, there are flats that are maybe kind of strange, but none of these notes are notes that you can't figure out or wouldn't understand. The rhythms are very straightforward. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're kind of home free. And I'll stop this video, teaching video part 3, at the end of measure 73. Again, that's kind of the top of the next page, just a little bit. It just seems like a nice place to stop. Alrighty, so once again, practice, practice, practice. Anything that's tricky, practice it until it's not tricky. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a video. You can have a parent send me a video of you playing it and say, Miss Macy, is this right? Did I do that right? You can ask me in the lesson. Good. So this part is fun. Go ahead and, just dive in. Work on it. Part 3.